Okay, next on the docket are pressure glides and yield parries, a very, very fun topic. And these can be used just like Parries de fer to change the direction of a fight. And it's a real shame that we're doing these distance because they're super cool when you do them in person. They make a wonderful shink sound, just like a nice croisé with expulsion. They're a great thing to throw into a fight to add some visual and auditory variety to a fight and to change up the tempo. So let's take a look. Okay, pressure glides start with a parry, and I can do them from high to low or low to high. So here's what a pressure glide looks like from a parry 3. Here's my parry 3, and here's the pressure glide. And here's what it is from 4. Here's my parry 4, and pressure glide. Now they look very, very simple from the attacker's perspective. All I'm doing is I am going from a high line parry to a low line cut on the same side. And then here's my high line parry 4, and then here's my cut to my partner's right hip. From 3, I cut to their left hip. Very, very simple. Now, we combine this with a yield parry. So if I am the person that has just attacked my partner, and they have parried 4, I am going to maintain the extension of my blade and a connection to their blade. And as they attack, I am going to move into a parry 2. So I go from attacking their 4 to parrying my 2. Now in order to do that, I need to change the pronation of my wrist. When I attack 4, my right hand is supinated. When I parry 2, my right hand becomes pronated. And I'm simply twisting my wrist as I parry, and I'm maintaining connection to their weapon the entire time. And if we do it correctly, it has a nice shink sound. And it's really cool looking, it changes up the tempo, and it provides a great variety to the fight sequence. Now, same thing if I have just attacked their 3, I'm going to yield parry 7. My hand is now pronated, and I pass back and flip to supination for parry 7, maintaining contact there. Okay? So it goes attack 4, yield parry 2. And if I can attack their 3, then I can yield parry 7. All right? Now these can also be done from low to high. Here's what it looks like if I go from parrying 2 to attacking their 4. And here's what it looks like if I go from parrying 7 to attacking their 3. Now, you might have noticed that when I do these pressure glides from a low line, I first have to flip my wrist. Now, if you've been coming to class on the Zoom calls, you might know that this is the same movement that we need to do in order to do a bind over to core. And we're going to call this biting the blade. So what I do is after I've parried here in 2, I need to rotate my wrists in order to get the true edge of the blade against their blade. And then I can cut up to the high line. Same thing if I parry on my left side, parry here at 7, I have to rotate my wrists in order to get the true edge of the blade onto their blade. Then I can cut up to the high line. So to do a pressure glide from a low line to a high line, I have to bite the blade first. Let me show you that movement of the wrist up close. So here I've parried 2, and now I rotate both wrists to get the true edge of the blade against theirs, and then I can cut. And then if I parry 7 here, I have to rotate the wrists to get the true edge of the blade against theirs, and then I can cut up. So those are the pressure glides from the low lines. Now let's take a look at the yield parries from the low lines. So if I have just attacked their 2, they're going to cut up, and I am going to simply supinate my wrist and yield parry up to 4. Then if I have cut down to their 7, I'm just going to pronate my wrist and bring my yield parry up to 3. It's a very simple, direct movement. I don't need to do any kind of circular or counter parries. I just change from pronated to supinated if it's on my left, or change from supinated to pronated if it's on my right. I maintain the extension and the connection to their blade the entire time so that we make a nice shink sound as they do their pressure glide. Now, we can also do pressure glide and yield parries with thrust attacks. So, if I have just parried here, I can do a direct riposte pressure glide. And all that means is that when my partner has attacked and they do a yield parry, they're not going to remove their blade. So I've just parried, but I don't do a beat parry where I knock their blade aside. I do a very light, gentle parry that brings their sword out here. They maintain connection, and I slide along their parry doing the riposte, and then as we weight shift back, they slide along my attack to do the yield parry. So they attack, slide, we weight shift, and I slide to parry. I slide to attack, we weight shift, they slide to parry. We can do it on the other side as well. I've parried 7, I slide along their blade as I extend, we weight shift, and they slide along my blade as they parry. So here's what it looks like from the parries. So I've attacked, they slide along my blade to attack, we weight shift, and I slide along their blade to parry. And then from the other side, I've attacked, they slide along my blade to attack, we weight shift, and I slide along their blade to parry. So you can throw a pressure glide yield parry like that into a sequence of direct parries with thrust attacks, and it changes the sound and the tempo of the fight again. So instead of ting, 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 you might hear ting, shink, ting, something like that. It's just a nice way to add in a little bit of variety. But you do need to be very gentle with it and make sure that the two of you are working together to really slide along the blades there. But other than that, it doesn't really look a lot different than regular thrust attacks. Okay, so here's what I would like you to film. Let's not do the pressure glides for the thrust attacks. Let's just do the cuts. Okay, so let's start left foot forward. Pass back, parry 4, and then pressure glide, yield parry. Then, let's do an around the body cut to attack their 4, and then let's pass back, pressure glide, yield parry. All right? Now, we can let them attack us, low line. So we weight shift forward, pass back, parry, bite the blade, and attack, high line. Then we do an around the body cut, and attack low line, and pass back, pressure glide, yield parry. All right, so once again, we're starting left foot forward. Now, you might notice that we're only doing 4 of the possible 8 moves here. That is okay. We're going to start left foot forward, we pass back, parry 4, pressure glide, yield parry. Around the body cut, high line, and pass back, pressure glide, yield parry. Now, they are going to attack us, low line, pass back, parry, bite the blade, pressure glide. Around the body cut, low line, pass back, yield parry. Please do that starting with your left foot forward. If you want to be really tricky, yeah, I'll offer some extra credit if you also then want to do that sequence starting with right foot forward to show me the other pressure glide yield parries. But I'll leave that up to you and let that be optional.